You know what? I'm quite upset. I even like at the end there, like I actually still had hope the whole game. Like I felt something. I'm like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. Like I just know I'm gonna prove everyone wrong, and they didn't do it. So it is what it is. They lost, and cry myself to sleep tonight, I guess.
I mean, we're all probably going to cry ourselves to sleep. But if you just, maybe don't think about the game, think about all those Dobby photos I just showed you guys. That might be a better look.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Doesn't get much better than that.
So is Carson Soucy as bad as I think he is, or is that all in my head?
No, I think he's pretty bad. it's like he could be good, but he reminds me of what is it? Not Alex Edler quite. He was the one that always made bonehead decisions a couple of years ago. It's in the back of my mind right now, and I'm just trying to.
Well, we had like,
remember.
If you go a little further back, there was a guy named Brent Sopel who was quite good a lot of the time, but then a lot of the time he would just be like, "What are you doing, bro?"
Yeah, well, sorry, I know who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Tyler Myers 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Like, who's that guy? Like, oh, he still plays on the team. So yeah, that's who Soucy reminds me of right now. He's turning into the new punching bag. But he's just not doing good enough out there. It's a lot of just sloppy play, not covering his man, and it's all about he can stand there, but like get into them, put your body into it, make yourself noticeable. But yeah, no, I totally understand your frustration behind Soucy right now.
I think what I'm seeing from him is rather than trying to be on his man, like you're saying, he's trying to block these passes. But you're like, I get it. A lot of the time you do see these guys knock down passes, but at the end of the day, he needs to knock guys down rather than trying to knock the pass down, because you're not going to be able to block that pass every time unless you're getting your body in the way. But he's just got his stick like extended out, like he thinks that's going to work, but it's really not.
Yeah, he reminds me of my World of Chell character. I'm always trying to block the passes, and then I get all mad when puck goes right through me, and they get it one time or score.
Yeah,
it's the exact same thing, right?
Did you feel a little better as the Canucks started to come back? Like, are we taking some late game comeback? At least they made a push of it.
Yeah, I guess so. But it is, by the end of the day, the game, it's so fresh in my mind right now that I still have that very upset feeling. It's just like, oh, that sucks. But you're right. When you look at it, at least they didn't stop. It wasn't a 1-0 game or something like that. Like it was, they tried, but yeah, I don't really know what to think of Seelovs right now.
I was just gonna ask you about that because obviously other Jacob absolutely hates Shelovs.
Yeah.
What is your level of hate?
Sorry?
What is your level of hate? Because right now Jacob Cozy is saying Shelovs sucks, but we're chilling.
Yeah, I don't hate Seelovs. I know that. It's just when you really think about it, like in the first period, I'm like, okay, we can let those few go. It's okay. But then you realize, okay, like I think it's the last one that got me, just a wrist shot. He's got to save that one. And then you could say he might have probably should have saved one, or maybe let's just say one other one just for the sake of it. That's 2 goals right there, right? And that's losing but the thing is, it's like we don't have a Luongo or Demko or something right now. Like he's just a filler. So I don't think we need to like overreact over it.
Plus he's only 23.
Yeah. So I'll still defend him, but no, it definitely did contribute to the loss tonight a little bit.
Another thing that contributed to the loss is the fact that the Canucks only won 35% of the faceoffs. Like, is this a situation where like they're just missing Miller, or is Atu Ratu the only? Should Atu Ratu play on every line and take the faceoff and then go off?
Yeah, right. I did not know that stat yet, and no, that's crazy because they weren't a bad faceoff team until Miller was gone, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And I know Atu Ratu, like you say, he does that crazy forehand backhand thing. He's crazy good at winning draws. But when you now think of it, who else is winning draws out there? I guess really nobody, right?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll pull it up here. So, oh wait, no, that's the wrong sheet. Let's go to the actual one that I need. The face-off summary. Brock Besser took 2 faceoffs, didn't win any. Pius Suter took 16 faceoffs, and he only won 4, so he was 25%.
Yikes.
Pedersen took 16 faceoffs, won 6, so he was 38%. Kiefer Sherwood took 1, lost it. Teddy Bluger took 12 and won 7, so he was 58%. And then Atu Ratu actually had a really tough night. He only took 9 faceoffs, but he only won 3, so he was 33% on the dot tonight, which is probably his worst game. And then DeBrusque took 1 as well and lost. Drew O'Connor for Pittsburgh won 1 draw, so he was 100%. Kevin Hayes took 3 draws, won them all. Lazat took 9 draws, won 6. Achari took 8 draws, won 5. Evgeny Malkin took 10 draws, won 5, and then Crosby took 26 draws and won 17.
Yeah, I guess that'll do it right there, eh? It's a guy in the league that's been there for a long time. I think he knows how to win draws, so
Crosby
that might explain it right there.
He had more face-off wins than the entire Canucks team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and it is a good stat to look at, honestly, because winning draws is obviously you start out with the puck after every play.
Right.
You're not starting out with the puck every play. You're chasing, right? So
the other thing I wanted to ask you about was the fact, again, the Canucks only got 1 power play tonight.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 power play goal?
They only had 1 power play. They didn't even score on it.
1 power play, yeah.
Pittsburgh had 4. But the Canucks only had 1, and I feel like there was a couple plays out there that probably should have been called. Are the Canucks not skating hard enough? Are they not throwing their head backs enough? Like, what do we need? Do we need some acting classes to try and get the refs to react, or did the refs just hate us?
I'm gonna go with the last one, but you know what? Honestly, I don't know, because it's you could say, oh, maybe we should be over dramatic, but I know Pedersen likes to hang his head back every once in a while when he likes to collapse on the ice every time he gets chopped, So you could say that, but by the end of the day, I guess we could just say it's another unlucky night. Can we say it's an unlucky night, or do the refs just automatically hate the Canucks no matter what every single game in the National Hockey League? Like, it could come down to that, but I don't know, man. I don't know what they need to do.
So the only thing to prevent myself from crying myself to sleep tonight, other than having Dobby here, I will point out that the Canucks had 32 hits to Pittsburgh's 11. So again, another night where the Canucks absolutely out hit the other team. And it doesn't feel good right now, but I think that is a good sign for a team that will probably make the playoffs regardless of how bad tonight looked. Hits are huge, and I think that they are one of the most physical teams, obviously, with Kiefer Sherwood leading the league in hits. Is that something that makes you feel a little better, that we left them with some pain that they're going to feel later on?
Yeah, way better, honestly. And it also sends a message too, because we don't see it, but these two teams, they know each other. They remember each other every game. They're not going to forget that. The next time the Penguins play the Canucks, they'll remember, oh, they're a hard hitting team, and that is important. That is very important. It's nice to see a Canucks team like that. And this is no shade on the Sedins or anything, but you go through that era where they weren't huge hitting people and all that. I like a little bit of a nastier team, so it's fun to it's nice. And I even see Elias Pettersson. He's a smaller, you could say somewhat of a softer guy, but I like seeing him throw his body out. And he's been doing it for the last couple of years, and I can tell he keeps trying and to actually make an effort on it. He's not trying to do crazy open ice hits. He's trying to make a hit to make a play, right?
Right.
So I do actually acknowledge that, and that does make me feel better. That does help me sleep tonight. Thank you, Russell.
That's good. I'm just looking at ice time too, because obviously I feel like there wasn't a lot of fourth line time. Niels Hoglander only coming in with 9 minutes of ice time. Who else was on that? Atu Ratu probably was pretty low. Let's see. He only played 11 minutes. And then Max Sasson only had just under 10 minutes as well. So that fourth line really didn't take up. And obviously, when you're chasing a game from the very start, your fourth line's probably not going to see a lot of time. That's probably concerning because obviously, go down early. Suddenly you can't rely on all 4 lines rotating. Do you think that was, essentially compounded the back-to-back situation?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that it that obviously affects it. You're running 3 lines basically, at that point, you need all 4 lines to run, especially after a back-to-back. But if Tocchet felt the need, he couldn't trust them after that first quick goal they got. Yeah, it's and that's the problem with the Canucks actually right now, because they usually do have a good, well-balanced team. It's just that a lot has kind of been hindering our way lately. And it is a random fourth line. Like, have we seen that yet? We haven't seen those. Like, I feel like we haven't seen those 3 together, have we?
So interestingly, that's actually a line you probably would have seen down playing for the Abbotsford Canucks, because that's
Right.
Soucy, Ratu, Hoglander, not this season, but when he was playing down there, that would have been a line combination that you could have seen down there before.
Yeah.
But Ratu also taking 2 penalties tonight.
Yeah.
Are we maybe looking at a guy who's maybe getting a little tired, because obviously he's been playing on this NHL team for a little while now? Maybe he's the guy who comes out of the lineup for the Buffalo game, and they put Baines back in, or is it time to sit him down and give him a little rest? Or what are you thinking about Ratu's situation?
I don't think they should rest him quite yet. I mean, I would understand if they do, because it's not a knock on the guy either. It's just like, hey, maybe we should get Baines up, because Baines has been proven that he is a decent, a quality NHL player, and it depends on what Tocchet thinks works right now. Like, who do you want on the fourth line, a Baines or a Ratu? Ratu might have a little bit more offensive upside, or but Tocchet knows all these things, right? But I don't think he's deserving to get taken out. I think a lot of the time, newer or younger players, when they come into the game, they always get penalties. It seems like you'll notice against other teams too. They just always end up getting a penalty. Maybe it's them trying too hard and they're putting themselves in situations they shouldn't be in. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if they need to switch things up, I'd be cool with it. But yeah.
We're going to do the same thing we did last game, and I'm going to get you to try to predict what the 3 stars were.
The 3 stars. Oh God.
So that will be really tough.
I have no idea.
I'll give you a hint tonight.
Yeah.
It is 2 Penguins and 1 Vancouver Canuck.
I don't even remember who scored for Pittsburgh anymore. I actually don't. Oh man!
Okay, start with the Canuck. Who, if you're gonna pick the one Canuck who ended up being the second star, who's the second star of the game as a Vancouver Canuck?
I know Pettersson scored at the end. Ratu probably only got 1 point at the beginning. I'm gonna say maybe Elias Pettersson. Did he? Oh no! Wait, hold your horses. No, it's gonna. Did Quinn Hughes get a couple?
Quinn Hughes took the second star of the night. He had a goal and 2 assists, so he had 3 points tonight.
Right
so
on. Yeah.
The captain, as we saw at the beginning of that third period as well, trying to take the team on his back. The third star for Pittsburgh was an old guy who was actually, so you got 2 offensive defensemen in the 3 stars. Erik Karlsson had 3 assists tonight. So he's taking the third star. And then the one you couldn't remember, that Rust scored 2 goals tonight for Pittsburgh. Also had an assist. So he also had a 3-point night. So the 3 stars is a collection of 3 players that had 3 points each.
Right.
Which seems fitting.
No, that's fair. I honestly, I didn't notice that Quinn Hughes had 3 points tonight.
Yeah. So Quinn Hughes got a goal to start the third period, assisted by Pettersson. Quinn Hughes assisted on the Pius Suter goal in the second period near the end there, and then Quinn Hughes, where's the other assist? Oh, and he also assisted on Pettersson's goal. So he was the second assist on the Pettersson goal. Right.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I thought he got that 1 assist and that awesome goal, and then I wasn't sure after that. So no, good for him. And that's a nice thing to take out of this game. It's always fun seeing Quinn just keep doing his thing. He's my favorite player, so it's that's always encouraging, knowing that your best player is playing the best on the team, right?
Yeah. So. And then Garland actually getting the assist on the Pettersson goal. That was his 12th assist of the season. So he is getting more points as well after having a 2-point night, right?
Yeah.
We might have to reanalyze his over-under.
Sorry?
We might have to reanalyze his over-under.
Yeah, right? Yeah. All the stats are changing too. It was funny when we first started, when we were originally going to do it, like you said, you had that blackout or whatever. and I had to go redo the stats. Some of the stats, none of them changed.
Yeah.
And then there was like a couple players that was just like, oh wow, they really climbed. So I got to see like, oh wow, okay, like these players are playing good right now.
And then I guess another bright spot would be that Max Sasson gets his second assist. He's played 2 games, he's got 2 assists, so that's got to be feeling pretty good for the kid.
Yeah, that was the first thing I took from the game. I do really enjoy seeing that. I like how hard he works, and I really respect the fact that he gets a chance in the NHL and he's taking advantage of it and actually, putting his all out there. So that is it's nice to see. I'm happy for him.
Max Sasson just recently called up from the Abbotsford Canucks, and since Dustin isn't around, I wanted to inform you because we need to educate you, Jake, on what's happening down in the AHL with the baby Canucks. We did mention they were playing last night, so it was a later game. They started at 6:30. They ended up winning. So they ended up winning 3-1. So now the Abbotsford Canucks are on a 4-game winning streak, which is good to see because they had some rough games there for a while. They won 4-2, 7-1, 2-0, and then the latest game is 3-1. The thing I wanted to point out from their game last night, Danila Klimovich scored his 8th goal of the year. So that's kind of why I was thinking maybe we get one of these players getting sent down soon because Klimovich is really scoring a lot down there for them. The other one that I wanted to point out was Kudratsev, which is that Russian defenseman we talked a little bit about. He got 2 more assists last night. So he's got 8 assists on the season so far. So a couple guys that I'm starting to think they might be looking at bringing one of these guys up because it is a long road trip. And after a really bad game like they had tonight, despite the fact that they managed to come back, I'm thinking that you might see some of these guys getting called up. But the other thing I wanted to point out, the last thing for the Abbotsford Canucks, did you see the Mark Friedman getting hit? Like he ended up getting carted off the ice. It was really bad. They took him to the hospital. Like it was terrifying. So Mark Friedman, who's played for the Vancouver Canucks, was playing in the Abbotsford Canucks. Was a really bad scene, blood all over the ice, that kind of thing. He has been back for the last 2 games.
Sorry?
Mike Friedman has been back playing for the last 2 games. So it's good to see that, man. He's actually on a defensive pair with D. Petey, and they are looking better. So that might actually be part of this this winning streak that the Abbotsford Canucks have put themselves on because Mark Friedman is obviously probably an NHL defenseman, but with the amount of defensemen that we have, he's playing down in the A. So good to see that our DPD is actually playing alongside Mark Friedman. So there should be some good learning going on down there.
Yeah, and I never had a problem with Mark Friedman either. Like I don't think he played fantastic when he got called up, but he is very serviceable. So if they wanted to switch something up and bring someone up like that, or give that young Russian kid a try too, right? Like I'm a huge believer. Like instead of going out and finding somebody or whatever, like on a team like this, we have a good core. Try and get these younger guys incorporated into it. Give them a shot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you thinking that the Canucks can turn things around? We got an early game. Like, you're probably not even going to be able to watch that one, eh? Coming up at noon, right?
Yeah, I start work exactly at 12 on Friday, so I'm like, thanks, Canucks. Appreciate it.
You're starting to get kind of a sore throat, though, aren't you?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I wish I could call it. I'm the only chef that works at this damn place. So I gotta be there no matter what.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, thanks, Jake, for stopping again by for the post game show. Hopefully, your tears don't freeze as they run down your cheeks as you fall asleep. And have any final words for the crazy kids in the chat?
Nah, just go Canucks glow or glow Canucks. That's hard to say when you mumble it in your mouth. But glow Canucks glow.
So you don't have to say the glow first. You just say coconuts glow.
Coconuts glow. Glow Canucks coconuts glow. That's a tongue twister, I tell you. When you say it out loud, I tell you it's different.
It's harder, right? It's harder.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
But thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. Talk to you soon, brother.
Cool. Take care.
Nothing is perfect.